Hello everyone, welcome guys. Today we are going to see the further part of solids. First we have seen different types of solids and today we are going to see some types of unit cells. Before going for that, we will first understand a remaining part of covalent solids. In covalent solids we have seen three different types: diamond, graphite and fullerene. Now the most important part is of differentiation between diamond and graphite. Now if you will see the structure of diamond, in that diamond carbon atoms are present and those carbon atoms are tetrahedrally attached with each other. Means what? If I am having one carbon atom over here, there will be four carbon atoms attached to single carbon atom. So in this way the chain goes on. These carbon atoms are attached to each other and they give a covalently bonded. This is what covalent bonding between carbon atoms. Covalent bond is the strongest bond as we know, and these carbon atoms are what? sp3 hybridized, which is the most stable hybridization. First criteria is what? Covalently bonded. Second, it is sp3 hybridized, means it has tetrahedral geometry, and tetrahedral geometry is the most stable geometry. So these properties result into the hardest molecule or hardest element compound on the earth. The hardest compound is what? Diamond on the earth. And the reason between the two reasons. One is covalent bonding between carbon atoms and the sp3 hybridization between them. After that we have graphite, where graphite is like different layers of graphene placed on one another, and that interaction between those layers is weak van der Waals forces. Those weak van der Waals forces hold those layers together. But if we place some external force on those layers slide on one another and there is formation of lubrication between them. That's why graphite is also used as lubricant, while as graphite has free electrons present in it. Now free electrons means what? I will draw a small structure of that graphite over here. Okay, so it is hexagonal structure where hexagonally two different layers are interacting with each other. Means this is one layer which is going over there. It will have unpaired electrons. Those unpaired electrons are free electrons. There is interaction between them. Those free electrons will conduct current, but they don't conduct heat. Graphite is good conductor of electricity but bad conductor of heat. Why? Current is carried due to the free electrons which are present in this structure, and those electrons result into interaction between the layers of that graphite, and the interaction between those layers is due to weak van der Waals forces. So graphite powder acts as lubricant, and it also acts as good conductor of heat, electricity, but not heat. Now when we were small, we used to play with the pencil. We used to rub the pencil on the paper. We used to turn it full black, and when we used to move our finger on that blackened part, it used to move smoothly. Why? Because that graphite reduces the friction between the finger and the page which you are having in you. The layer of those graphites acts as lubricants. So in this way we have seen different parts of graphite and the types of bonding between them. In this case, this interaction is what? It is sp2. This carbon atom which is over here, it is sp2 hybridized. That's why it is having a planar geometry. sp2 is always planar, sp3 is tetrahedral. So two different planes are interacting with each other. One, the graphite is good conductor of electricity. Second, it has free electrons which result into conduction of current. Third, the carbon atoms are sp2 hybridized and all are planar. All atoms are planar. The bonding between them is what? Covalent bond. This bonding is strong, but the interaction between the layers, means if I am having different layer over here, so interaction between these two layers is weak. That's why graphite acts as lubricant. And then the third part which we all know is fullerene balls or carbon nanotubes. There is lot of research done on carbon nanotubes. Okay, and you can go through that. I can keep on saying for carbon nanotubes. I'll give you one example that how they are flexible and durable. the carbon nanotubes are generally used to make axles of Formula One racing cars. Axles means what? The bar which joins the wheels of the car, axle. Okay, so that axle is 3 times stronger than the stainless steel axle. So you can go through that. Carbon nanotubes has a wide range application. It is also used as total internal reflection or cable for total internal reflection. So you can go through that on YouTube or Google it. You will get larger amount of information based on that. So today we are going to see the types of unit cells. As we are knowing that our body is made of muscles. Muscles are made of small cells which are known as unit cells. These cells combine together to give us a complete structure. Similarly, we are having here 7 different unit cells. These 7 unit cells are divided into their subparts, which we are going to see further. But these are what? 7 primitive unit cells, and then we will have its types. Now if we will see cube, we are knowing generally we play with our dice. That dice has 6 faces and 8 corners, right? So the edge length of those cubes are same. So A, B and C are same, and the angle between them is 90. Alpha, beta and gamma is 90. That is a cube which we have generally seen always. We also know the cube which we are having of different colors, and we generally play with that. We try to make all the colors same. That is the structure of cube. Next, I have made some structures over here. Next structure is what? Next structure I have given is what? Tetragonal. In tetragonal, A and B length are same, C is different. One of the lengths is different. Means here you can see, as I am showing you here, if this is the origin, this length is A, this length is B and this length is C. The angle between them, angle between AC, CB and AB means the angle which is at the bottom. AC, BC and AB is 90. The angle between these 3 axes is 90. Here I am having alpha, beta, gamma is equal to 90, and A, B are same, means edge length A and B are same. Here A and B are same. One length is greater, or it can be small or it can be big. So that is an example of what? Trigonal. Next I am having what? Orthorhombic. Now orthorhombic means what? We are having all the edge lengths different, but the angle between them is 90. Means here I am having a structure which I will show you over here. In this case you can see that A, B and C means the edge lengths are different. Here I will show you. This is A, B and C. Here I am having A, B and C. These edge lengths are different and the angle between them is what? Angle between them should be 90. When they are 90 or perpendicular with each other, that is known as what? Orthorhombic. Now we are generally having matchbox at our home. Those matchbox or erasers which we are having in our compost box, they will have all the edge lengths different, but the angle between them will be 90. Okay, so that is an example of orthorhombic, which are having 4 subtypes in them. Next is what? Monoclinic, where we will have the same case, we will have same edge lengths, but what will happen? First the angle was 90, now the angle between A and B will be 90. Now what? The angle with alpha and gamma means what? I can change the size of the base. If this is the base, I am changing the size of that base. Now here you can see that, here you can see I am changing the size of the base. I have shown you over here. Now you can see the angle between AC and BC are 90, means C is perpendicular to A and B, but the angle between A and B is different. If this is the origin, we can take this as origin over here. See, this is the origin. A and B are the different angles where C is perpendicular to those two. So when that C is perpendicular to A and B, then it is said to be as monoclinic. Next is what? Triclinic, where again the same structure but having all the angles different with each other. Here you can see that if I'll adjust the base and the C angle is also changing. If this is my origin, the point which I am showing you, if this is the origin over here, then the angle between these three will be different. So alpha, beta and gamma are not equal to 90. They are different with each other. Okay. Next is what? Hexagonal structure, which I have made over here. This is hexagonal structure where the length A and B are same. If this is the origin, this point is the origin over here. A and B are same. C is different. Angle between them is what? 120. A and B. Angle between A and B is 120. You can see. But C is perpendicular to both. Means the angle between C and these two edge lengths. Okay. I'll just point out. The angle between C and these two will be what? 90. But angle between AB is 120. That I have written over here as alpha is equal to beta. Alpha is equal to beta is equal to 90 and gamma is equal to 120. This is gamma. This angle is gamma and this is the 90. C is 90 with the base. Okay. So in this way we are having angles. Now rhombohedral. Rhombohedral means what? You will take cube and you will just deform it. The shape of that cube or rhombohedral is shown like this, where it is slightly tilted over there. It is presuming to be as cube only. In rhombohedral, all the lengths are same. A, B and C are same, but the angle is not equal to 90. The angle between alpha, beta, gamma means angle between AB, AC and AB. AB, AC and CB are same. Means what? If I'll make this axis, angle between this is A, B and C, angle between AC, BC and AB. These angles are equal to each other. This angle is not exterior angle, the angle should be interior angle. Okay, so the angle between AB, AC and BC are equal but not equal to 90. This is the meaning of the notation which I have written over here. You can find out many different examples based on that. Okay, now we will go for the numbers which I have written over here. Okay. Now in cubic, I will have three different types. One is simple, means what? At this shape, at each corner, I will have 1/8 atom, or I will have atom present over there. So that is what? Simple cubic. Next is what? Second type is what? Base centered. Base centered means what? These two are face centered, I can say. Base centered means face centered, I can say. Majorly it is known as face centered. In face centered, what will happen? At each face I will have atoms present over there, and that atom is what? Half atom. Means if this is the face, if I will try to look at this part, if this is the face of my structure cube, then at that face I will have an atom from inside. I will have an atom from inside. That atom present at the faces is known as what? Face centered. I don't have anything to show you. Okay, I'll imagine that I have now opened the cube and I am having a face of that cube. Here there is second face and here there is third face. Now this is the face of my cube, and at that face I will have atoms present. Just a moment. Those atoms will be like this. Means these are four different. The half atom will be present at the face of my cube, and that face, each face will have that half atom. Okay, This is half atom. Atoms are considered to be whole sphere in our chapter, and that half atom is present at the face. There is half atom at the face. Similarly, there are atoms present at these corners also. Okay, I will draw the shapes of that in the further lectures. At that time you will understand that part more clearly. So that is what face centered, half atom present at the face with the corner atoms. Next is what? Base centered. Third type is what? Base centered or body centered, I can say. Sorry, body centered means what? The whole atom is present at the center. Whole atom is present at the center of that structure or crystal unit. That is known as what? Body centered crystal unit. Okay. Similarly, tetragonal will have two types. Primitive means which is very simple, means at corners I will be having atoms, 1/8 atom, and second one is what? Body centered, that is the tetragonal. Now, which the name which I am constantly saying is that base centered. Base centered means what? At only bases or at the opposite faces you will have half atom. Means this is one face and this is top one is the second face. At these faces I will have atoms. At these phases or at these phases or at opposite faces I can have half of atoms present. That is known as what? Base centered. That is the fourth type. So orthorhombic will have all the four types, which is simple, body centered, face centered and base centered. Tetragonal will have two types, end centered and simple. Here monoclinic will have two types. Triclinic will have only one type, that is corners, atoms present at the corners. Next is hexagonal, again atoms present at the corners, that is primitive. And rhombohedral will also have atoms present at the corners of that cube. So in this way we are going to see the different units, unit cells and their types. Now these atoms are arranged in many different dimensions, that is 1 dimension, 2 dimension and 3 dimension. Based on the arrangement of those atoms we are having different structures. For example, if I will take 1 dimensional arrangement of atoms. 1 dimensional arrangement of atoms means what? If I am having only x axis and on that x axis I am arranging the atoms. Okay, this is 1 dimension AA type arrangement. Now I will have 2 dimension AA type arrangement. 2 dimension AA type arrangement means what? If this is the surface, my atoms will be placed on one another. This is what? AA type 2 dimensional arrangement. And now there is AA type 3 dimensional arrangement. 3 dimensional arrangement means what? Now I am having a cube over here and that cube will be filled with all the walls of the container. Okay, so now this is the cube. First the cube was filled with only atoms at the base. Now those atoms will be placed on one another. Means here I will have atoms placed on one another like this. Here I will have atoms placed on one another. This will be known as what? AA type of arrangement in 3 dimension. Afterwards we have AB type of arrangement of atoms in 3 dimension. Here we will have the voids which you can see over here. These voids are known as what? Tetrahedral voids. When I will be having AB type of arrangement, there are 2 types of voids. One is tetrahedral void and other one is octahedral void. I will show you that diagrammatically. AB type, I am now showing AB type 2 dimensional arrangement. This is the atoms having A type, and B type means what? The atoms will be placed at the places, void spaces which are present over here. Okay, now next will be over here where the atoms will be at the central part of the atoms. So here you can see that I have here arranged atoms one above another. Here I have arranged atoms at the centers or the white spaces which are present and try to cover majority of the white spaces in 2 dimensions. I will go that arranging in 3 dimensions. In that case, you can see the videos based on that. In 3 dimensional arrangement, I get 2 types of voids. One is octahedral void and other one is tetrahedral void. I will show you that in the textbook where the arrangement of atoms is shown. Okay. So this is the arrangement of atoms which I will show you in the textbook. Here there is arrangement of atoms. Here you can see this is ABC type of 3-dimensional arrangement of atoms. Here you can see AB type of arrangement of atoms where A is at the bottom and B is in the between those 2 atoms. That gives you what? HCP, hexagonal close packed structure. Here they have shown octahedral voids which are completely transparent. You can see the base, and these are what? Tetrahedral voids which are present between 2 different layers. Okay, so this void will be acting as tetrahedral voids which are placed between 2 different atoms. Here again I will show you. See, in this you will have white spots. These white spots will be known as what? Octahedral voids. And here you will say red dots. These red spaces are known as what? Tetrahedral voids. See, here it is written tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids. This is 3-dimensional arrangement of AB type atoms, and this is 3-dimensional arrangement of AA type of atoms which are placed on one another. I hope this is clear. Okay. I'm not that good at animation, but there are many animated videos which will help you to understand AB type of arrangement of atoms. This is the most important part of arrangement of atoms because those arrangements give you different shapes and structures of those atoms. Okay, this part is done where we are seeing different unit types. In next video we will see the derivations to find out the percentage efficiency, percentage packing efficiency, and then we will try to solve the examples based on that. Okay, so in next video first we will go with the derivations and then we will see the types of arrangement of examples which we are going to solve. Okay, thank you.